for checking out Her Divine Light. It has been a little while since I filmed an update, just because honestly so much information has come out now that they've released the 36 hours of surveillance video. And for myself, you know, I intuitively picked up on a lot of this information weeks ago, around the time when I was, you know, filming my first video. And because I'm an intuitive reader, I often like to wait until I see some type of confirmation, you know, kind of in like our 3D world of, you know, oh my gosh, this is actually right, and oh wow, this is the situation. So what had always stood out to me was a part where Blue Cup and Tanasia, who has a big fancy blingy watch on, when they're kind of preparing the cocktail, and she straight out says, like, that girl over there is going to be dead tonight, or something along that. Like, she seriously says that in the video. But the Blue Cup dude, he said something along the lines of, the biggest B in here is for banks. Oh, thank you, Spirit Team. So that name always stood out to me. Just something about this Banks dude. What is the deal with this Banks, you know? So as time went on and as the dots started to come together, and knowing that they were brother and sister, it comes to find out that their brother, who was Carl's son, Mr. King of Wands, his son, their brother, he was murdered back in 2013, I believe. And you know, what led this off is that I saw some like super elaborate for a funeral, you know, like these flowers that said like Banks on it, and the father had a hoodie on. When you go further down in his profile, he had a hoodie that said something about you know, like long live Banks, something relating to that Banks connection. So right there I was like, oh my god, like that in itself is like a motive, you know. Once I saw that, okay, oh yeah, so that Banks thing stuck out. However, on the flip side, in that same video, you then hear another person say, like, the biggest B is for Biggie. Now, when some of Kenneka's Facebooks hadn't been deleted, because that girl had more than two. There were more than two, and I know on one of them there was a video of Teresa, hot chick, but now that's taken out, so just Teresa Martin. There's a photo of her. It was like a happy birthday flipgram, and it said, you know, happy birthday Biggie. So, you know, like that, just hearing those two phrases and this whole situation, it was wild. And on a freeway, and it was, they didn't necessarily say who did it, you know, but the father made a comment that there was like, I don't know, some people are thinking like a butchy lesbian, because he used the phrase stud in this Facebook comment. So some people are thinking that some woman may have done it. So it's kind of vague. Like, we just are really in the air about it. And I guess a part of me just thought, wow, what if he was saying that about Kenneka's mother? And maybe not physically the one who pulled the trigger, but just some type of family-fueled situation. I'm just going to cut and paste to the bullshit here. In that room, it was set up. It was set up because there is no way that these kids were going to be having a party like that with, what, no music, and they were doing a sing-along. You have a manager coming up to the door who is not really managing and is allowing, you know, these kids to drink and smoke, and, you know, there's other guests in the hotel, so I find it super hard to believe that nobody would complain, and if they had complained, no security type action would be taken, which that's another thing. There's a super shady security guard in this surveillance video that's out there. like I said, a lot of the good YouTubers are getting shut down with their info, so just go find what resonates with you. And I'll try to put at least one source below so then you can go on your adventure, because like it gets crazy with different updates. So sorry to jump around here. But the party situation. Now the thing about this party is that the two of them are just so they're so vocal on letting it be known, like, there's Kenneka, this is her, let's give her a drink here, let's make this for them. And from my standpoint, it just never really added up. All over the place, sorry about that, but it just comes to my mind and I gotta say it or I'll forget it. So yeah, they're just so adamant on pointing out, like, oh, this is where she is, that's where it is. You know, I don't know if the aspect of mixing the drink, they may have really been mixing the drink they did end up giving to the real Kenneka in the other room or at some other point, I don't know. But as far as how it went down in the bathroom, basically that was not Kenneka in there. It's the accessories and even how her hairstyle is. It's just not her in there. That's a fake Kenneka. I do not believe that it's... No, it is the sister. I do believe that Kenneka is Tanasia, Ty's sister, and there may be another sister involved who was like lighter complexion. She was off in the corner, had a maroon jacket on. Now she ends up coming into the bathroom also. She's the one, I believe, who physically gives that fake Kenneka a drink, like a clear drink. And even at that moment, like when she walks out of the door, she looks at the cameraman, and then the sister comes out and she is kind of looking at him too, and I think that like somebody was supposed to block her or something, just something got lost in the motion, and because it got lost in the motion, the story just was not able to pan out as seamlessly as they had hoped for it. Now at that same time, you see the cameraman kind of pan to the left, a woman in a denim jacket who people were saying was Kenneka. But God, I'm really not sure. I really just do not know. I mean, aesthetically from the outside, yes, she looked just like her. But for the time frame of the story, no, I'm really not feeling that it was her. Yeah, because there were so many different girls. It's, you know, honestly, it's kind of unreal once you really start to pay attention to see how many different girls look just like her in that same room. All right, so we have that going down. I think that's basically the room situation. There are some other shady characters that they ended up cutting out of the video, which one is, oh my God, it's nuts. I guess that whole aspect of figuring out who all of these people are as far as why they'd want Kenneka specifically, we're still working on the details, but this mom, she just knows a lot more of what is going on in the story, and I don't know why she's not verbalizing her thoughts. It doesn't make any kind of sense to me right now. I mean, you can even hear somebody say in the background, what does he say? Like, don't call the police. Like, you hear somebody saying that when the manager comes to the door. Somebody, like, talking to the kids in the room, which also, it's like, you have these grown-ass men in a room full of young women, and why is nobody pointing that out? And why aren't those men, even Mr. Blue Cup, it's like, dude, why are you there? You know, it just doesn't make sense. So, as we then go into... Now, I'm saying the other room, but with how the video was filmed, it's just tough to fully understand or know, like, if it wasn't. So, in Irene's glasses, there we'll go. So, in Irene's glasses, what we have is the fact of not only did she have this assault happening behind her, but when you really listen to this bullshit that people were saying, it honestly is so disgusting. Now, I know that A lot of us are familiar with hearing her say help me, which yes, that is true. We are definitely hearing her say help me. However, the men in the background, it's just too much to be true. It really is just so much. And even within that first minute, you can see in Irene's face that there's fear happening. You know, the girl's kind of giggling over in the corner. It almost was like they were trying to call Monifa out on something, where she's saying, oh my, like, I'm turning red, and then she says something about, like, Shamaya and Monifa, but they stopped talking. So I don't know really what that means either. And that's quickly before you hear her say, like, yeah, it's big, ain't it? Which, I'm sorry, there's only so many things, like, girls are gonna laugh and giggle about. So then in that back corner, you know, not only do you hear this guy kind of manhandling somebody, you also hear him, he's like, oh, I can toss you around like this all night, you know, keep hitting me all you want. Basically, like, girl, you can't do nothing to me. Like, I'm a dude, please, like, give me a try, you know? So he too is the one who's talking about, you know, like, lay it down, where you're going, and I would love to get a voice analysis on that dude, because he is just something. Like what I heard. Now, in her reflection, there's this dude in the red with an Indians logo. With the new surveillance video, I see him walking in, like the same little, like, couple second clip that they had with the 4 girls walking in. This dude across from Irene in the red, I see him in that same walkthrough. There's also this guy in the, like, a yellow t-shirt that I do believe is in the room also, at one point. And there is a dude in the blue. I don't know if it's Blue Cup, because his shirt seemed a little brighter, but at one point I do see him, either he's in the glass sitting, or he may have been the one who tilted down Irene's head. Like, maybe if somebody got the real start of that live stream originally, I mean, those are probably the 2 kind of main indicators, because in the surveillance video, you do see Ty and a gang of friends walking in at some point. Now, people are even saying that his father may have been there also, which one of them had said, last year we poured out liquor for you, this year we took a life for you. Another person said, swear on my daddy that I felt like I washed all my sins away in the shower. Something along the line, and it was like the next day. You also have this dude in a red hoodie that is on his Facebook saying he raised her soul. What was his name? Oh, that's not Bart. Tart dude. He's running his mouth in this Facebook video, and come to find out in the surveillance video, you see him, like, lingering in the elevator door, like, possibly at that moment when Kenneka is stumbling out, the fake Kenneka is stumbling out, you see him, like, staring down, like, towards that way, but it could have been edited out. So, God, I'm just trying to think of what else there is to know. Yeah, I think for right now, that's going to be the update on the main players of the story, and I'm going to pull some energy cards out to see if I pick up anything, and then I'll not even do my research, girl, I got my shit together. I'm just going to kind of go through next the surveillance videos that what I picked up on these videos, because you see everybody walk in. Oh, okay, I'm so sorry. Yeah, the surveillance video shows, like, everybody, but I'm saying I don't know how much of Kenneka they show, except, like, oh my God, it's just, that hotel is shady. It's just horrible. Oh my God. Let me see. I got excited. Oh, there's another, this blue cup dude. Now, it's known that Kenneka was not supposed to be at the hotel that night. She was going to a movie. And Mr. Blue Cup, he recently put out a video. I don't know if it was an alibi, if it was actually from the day, but he has that shirt on. And he seemed pretty fresh. Like, I doubt he was the type who'd have to wear the same outfit over and over again. But it was a video of him at the movies, I believe, talking about how it was sold out. So whether or not he was there, and because he saw that Kenneka was there, maybe he was the one who kind of pressured Irene into trying to get her to the hotel. But it just seems like it was kind of these male authoritative figures really just running the game with these young girls. And there are limited videos that have been shown where I do believe the hotel did transpose an image of Kenneka after she had passed onto some of the fake Kennekas walking through the hotel. There's a video when she's walking down that kind of really dark, it's like kind of a darker, it was one of the first videos that was released, but it was like a darker hallway, and she's walking on the right side, and as she gets closer to it, that's when you can tell. Now there's another video, what they were showing us inside of the actual kitchen, which they said the lower kitchen, but they found her in the upper kitchen. When they show a video of her kind of walking across, not into the kitchen, but actually across this way, when I looked at it, I did notice, and I felt that her hands were bound, kind of bound together, and the arms we were seeing were not her arms. But they did look bound, and her face again, it looked transposed. Her eyes were swollen. At one point, her tongue seemed to even be out of her mouth. I know that seems like so disturbing. However, the hotel and the police and whoever else is involved, they put it out there for us. They put it out there for us to see, you know, so we're just only analyzing what is being shown. Also, it was come to find out that the hotel, you know, if you checked out the last video, I mentioned this like bio research clinic. Well, I guess this bio research center at one point had the same address as the police department, which again, it's like, what the is that? You know, it just, something's not adding up, and it's up to, I mean, it's just up to the people who want to know more to try to figure out, yeah, where to go from here. So I know I'm not pulling cards on here. I know I'm kind of giving you just like a 101 update, but this is for the people who haven't been spending a lot of hours digging out the pieces for themselves. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to pull a couple cards here, and I will come back and yeah, now that I have a clear walkthrough of so much of what I was intuitively seeing in the cards, I even questioned if getting her body was handled in like if they put her in some type of like a laundry bin, something that could be pushed in. Sure enough, one of the videos that came out was the guy who possibly is Tolliver pushing something that's been deleted from the videos, and you can tell from like the pixels. It's very bizarre. It's really, really odd. And now that I've tapped back into the energy of the story, I know that my spirit team and I were really going to be able to intuit some stuff from watching the live surveillance videos.